In this video, let's discuss about how to market your startup product and services. This is a critical part of growing your startup to the next level. Whatever product and services you offer in the market, you need to know how to do it better and faster, because that's what building startup is all about. Do it fast and better for every aspect of the business. Same applies to go-to-market strategy. You need to do it fast and better. In other words, speed and quality. Before you put speed and quality strategy in place, there are things you need to know, and the first and very important one is to know your customers. It sounds simple, but knowing your customer is vital, as everything you do must be based on the group of customers you are targeting. Who, what, when, where, why, and how to understand your customers and communicate in a way that can reach your target customer, as well as the way they can understand your offer. So once you know everything about your potential customers, there are two ways you can approach them. One is through the touch points around the customers, like online, offline marketing tactics, like social media ads, direct sales on a group, or offline ads, etc. And this will lead to the questions of how you do it, and it comes down to the way you communicate to the customers, and how you communicate will make the difference. So when it comes to creating awareness or introduction to your product or services, creativity plays a big role. And it's important to be creative to highlight value propositions and always be consistent with mode and tone of your communication style. And ultimately, if the content you create goes viral, then it will be very effective towards awareness and even driving sales. And another important thing to focus is to leverage your resources to maximize the outcome. For example, if you spend $1, how much are you getting back in return? You need to measure the key metrics as often as possible. And of course, always keep in mind 80-20 rule, which means 80% of your revenue are coming from 20% of your staff, or 20% of your clients actually generate 80% of your income, so on and so forth. So you need to pay attention to the things that matter the most. In this case, 20% of your resources, or take good care of your 20% clients. And the most effective way for startups to grow is through referral. And it is by far the best and most effective way to get better results consistently. Take PayPal, Uber, Airbnb as examples. These companies grow through referral program. It has proven to be the most effective marketing strategies in the startup environment. Another approach that can save time and effort is to study best practices from your competitors. And as I mentioned in the lesson learned from mistake session, we often ignore this strategy as it may imply that we're sort of copycat for the approach, yet it's very effective to a certain extent, that the competitors have tried many different ways and learned the ways that work, and maintain the strategy to maximize the outcome from each campaign activity. In our startup, the most effective marketing strategy that we learned so far, as I mentioned, is the referral way, in which our existing clients refer to their friends, family members, and even their acquaintances to try out the product when they are asked which product to choose. But in order to build up customer base, we need to first acquire new customers to scale up the user base. So what we did for POS product is we divided our efforts into three approaches. 50% goes into online marketing, which includes running ads on social media and a bit of Google ads to increase awareness and reach out to potential customers. And second way is to send sales staffs on the ground to introduce product and service to the retail stores, and sometimes participate on trade show to acquire new users. This approach is generating only 10 to 20% of the revenue that we receive, yet we believe that it has a lot of potential if we consistently do it right, so we continue to execute it. And the third approach is through building partnership with other companies. Although this has not proven to be a good strategy for us, and revenue that we get from this approach is rather very little, it gives credibility when it comes to company image, and if the other party is doing a good job, it can potentially grow the business into a whole new level. But you cannot expect others to do well unless they have good incentives to do so. So when we execute any marketing activities, the key metrics that we use is return on investment and return on time. For return on investment, based on the amount we spend on each activity, for example, conversion rates, average cost per like or click, cost per acquisition, customer lifetime value, etc. Say we spend $10 to acquire one new user, and one new user generates $100, we're making 10 times out of our investment. So it's a good deal for us to invest to acquire users. But what if we spend more money? Does it mean more users and more income? Well, that's a question for return on time. Is it really going to generate the same outcome as you spend for $10 per user? If that's the case, you can invest more money to increase your revenue. But based on our experience, the result usually varies as there are other factors involved in customer decision making process. So we always have to find a balance between the amount of money we invest and the income we generate from it. It doesn't always mean that the more money invested, the more revenue it will be. So I'll suggest you find the right ratio for your startup as well. So what's important is you understand the concept of return on investment, user acquisition cost, and return on time to make sure that you can scale the business with speed and quality.